and rain. Eyes are fire, flame. We don't even know our name.
Hey everybody, this is my friend Joy LaMay. She was actually my business coach, I guess, for a little while. She has graciously decided to ask or said she would be on my podcast, and she really made a difference in my life for a while there and still is, taking a break from coaching. But I really wanted to have her on because she has a lot of really great insight for, I mean, if you're a business owner or just a person in general. But thanks, Joy, for coming on. Appreciate
Thank
you.
you for having me.
Tell
Thank you for
me,
having me.
tell me a little bit about yourself so people know who you are.
Yes. Well, like I said, my name is, or you said, my name is Joy LaMay, and I am a coach, a business coach, and I also own a salon here in Los Angeles. And I've been doing hair for about 21 years. And ultimately, I am still figuring out and finding out who I truly am. I think it's a journey that we're always on and always
Yeah.
pursuing. And I think that I am, at a place now where I'm feeling really confident in business and in life, and a lot of the things that I really wanted, a few years ago that I thought were so far out of my reach, been able to achieve them. And so now I'm looking ahead of what's next and what other things do I want to try and achieve. And along my path of, doing this work of the inner work and the outer work of owning a business and being a mom and a wife and then a sister and daughter, and friend, I also try and help others. So to also pursue what makes them special, what makes them unique, and sharing that gift with, helping them share that gift with others.
Yeah, I found you because I was assigned you through the Destroy the Hairdresser coaching company.
Mm-hmm.
And if people who don't know what DTH is about, can you explain a little bit about it for people to understand what it is?
Sure. So I think that so Destroy the Hairdresser is built for hairdressers by hairdressers. I think our industry is a little bit weird sometimes, and it's kind of hard to unless you're in it to really like know
Yeah.
what it's about. And so it's made for hairdressers who want to build their businesses for themselves and not just take what status quo has told them they should run their businesses. So a lot of hairdressing and a lot of the art of hairdressing, the craft of hairdressing, and unfortunately the business of hairdressing has a lot of times just been handed down from one hairdresser to another.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that some things have held for the test of time, and some things just haven't really changed with the times. And
Yeah.
so Destroy the Hairdresser was really meant to help people to kind of break out of what society, and when I say society, I mean the society of hairdressers
Yeah.
has deemed this is how you must run your business, to really putting the emphasis on each person to be able to decide how do they want to run their business. And as a coach, my job, even though we do have tools of how we, like we like hourly pricing, we like to have some of these kinds of, not really having a big front desk. And there's some of these things that we really like these concepts of, but ultimately we're coaches. We're coaches who want to help our students to be able to make those decisions for themselves, whatever decision it is. I've also helped students where they come in and they're like, I really need to change my business. And ultimately it comes out, they don't even want to own the business and they don't want to be in hair. And I've actually helped them in the transition of removing themselves from the industry because it's what they wanted to do.
Mm.
So, it's really about understanding how we make decisions, I think is a really big part of it. I think a lot of
Yeah.
us get into just anywhere in our life, whether you own a flower shop or a hair salon, you just arrive and you're like, how did I get here? So for me, my role as a coach is to help people to understand how did you get to where you are and how are you going to get to where you want to go by understanding that decision making process.
Yes, you always are good at asking the hard questions and like probing deep and getting into why I'm doing what I'm doing, where I want to go. And so I think that's what drew me
Mm-hmm.
to the DTH coaching in the first place was a lot of emotional intelligence,
Mm-hmm.
how to be a leader, like a good leader, not just a salon owner and all those things. I was just really struggling with anxiety and trying to figure out what to do with my business. I'm still figuring it out. Thought I was going somewhere and it's not probably, but that's okay. I feel like your coaching has helped me be more proactive than reactive in my situations. And maybe we can talk about that in a little bit. But
Mm-hmm.
I really appreciate the advice you've given me. You're the little voice inside my head still. So I like that. I
Oh,
miss our
nice.
coaching sessions, honestly. Taking a break,
Yeah.
I can come back. But I really think I like the I don't know, the biggest principle or whatever about being proactive versus reactive in your business
Mm-hmm.
and your life. And I think that we don't really talk about that enough. Like sometimes you go to therapy and you kind of talk about those things, but I really like how simple it is, the way DTH
It's
just
almost
talks
too,
about it.
yeah, it's almost too simple sometimes.
Yeah. And I don't think you think about just all the decisions we make. Are we just reacting or are we actually being proactive? And so that's been really helpful. So I don't know if you want to just kind of like share a little bit about that for people
Yeah,
who don't understand what I'm talking about.
for sure, for sure. So, and I think you bring up a good point. So with like, with having a coach, I think having a coach and a therapist at the same time is actually the best
Yeah.
because therapy really looks at the past and it looks at what created your now because of the past, right? And let's heal the past. And those are all things that we should totally do.
Mhm.
But with coaching, I'm able to say, okay, now what are you going to do? You have that data. What are you going to do now with that data? And ultimately, our reactive system is that primal part of us that still runs on the fight, flight, or fright system, right? We, whether you believe we're created or we're evolved, we inherited as humans this system within us that says this is dangerous or this is safe.
Mhm.
This is tedious or this is pleasurable. This is painful or this feels better. And so that part of our system, that part of our humanity is still very much in play. And my cat right here, my cat has that same reactive system, right? It lays down when it wants to, it plays when it wants to, eats when it wants to, it sleeps when it wants to. The difference is that us as humans, we can become aware of the system. We're aware that when we're hungry, I have reservations in 2 hours, I can pause and not eat and wait because I'm waiting to eat at my favorite spot.
Yeah.
So as humans, we have the ability to become aware of this reactive system, which means that we have the ability to actually control this reactive system. There are times when we don't know why we're doing the things that we're doing, and it's because this reactive system is just in control. I wake up, I grab my phone. I don't even know why I'm grabbing my phone to start scrolling. I just do. I leave my house and I make a left instead of a right. And because my reactive brain said, I'll make this decision for you so that you don't have to make any decisions. You'll save energy, you'll save time, you'll save resources. And when we were foraging and running from bears and predators, all that amount of time was really useful. All that amount of energy was really useful. But now we don't live in a time of predators. We live in a time when we're facing an unhappy client, or we are like driving and somebody cuts us off. This is where our reactive system will jump in and say, I know how to protect you. Turn right.
Mm. Yeah.
I know how to protect you. Just give the client all their money back. Right. Because in the moment, it's saying, this is how I can protect you. What proactive that or what productivity does, or what it's meant to do, and now that we have this consciousness and this understanding of this reactive system, is if I give all this client this money back, this client now is going to like expect this every time.
Mm.
Or I'm not putting this down, I'm not putting down a boundary. Or if you have a team, you're not protecting your team. And in the future, that's going to actually hurt me. In the moment, it feels good to just give back the client their money, but in the future, it's going to harm me, right? Right now, it feels really good to, just eat the chocolate cake, but in the future, it might harm me, right? As opposed to having a proactive decision in the moment and taking that pause to say, okay, what do I want in the future? And what decision do I make right now is actually going to be for the future? And for my future self to be, happy with what I've decided to do. Does this make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I feel like that's
So
been
this
helping
is
me in my personal and my business life. I've been using those tools that you helped me with a lot, actually. So
because our reactive system doesn't know the difference between home and at work, or with friends, or with family, or at the store, or at home. It's constantly asking, how do I protect us, and how do I get us quickest to pleasure above everything else? It doesn't feel good to wake up at 6 a.m. So even though, like, the day before, you go, okay, I'm going to wake up at 6 a.m. I'm going to get dressed early. I'm going to be prepared for my day. I'm going to meditate. Maybe I'll work out. Maybe I'll prepare my meals for the day, like be ready. I'll clean the house. But that moment the alarm goes off, our reactive brain says, it feels good to sleep in. Just stay in bed, right? So it takes a lot of self-discipline and a lot of work to go, no, I'm not going to listen to my reactive system that says, just stay in bed. I'm going to listen to my proactive side that says, yeah, get up, get dressed, get ready for the day. Don't be rushed. You'll feel better when you're not rushing throughout the day. So that's the fight that we always have. And I believe, like, there's no right or wrong. Is it reactive or is it proactive? And every little decision that we're making throughout the day is either one of those two things. And so when somebody's coming up with a decision of, like, do I sell my business? Do I open my business? Do I marry this person? Do I divorce this person? Do I, do anything in life? It really comes down to, okay, what's reactive or what's proactive here? And I think that is something that helps literally anybody in any career and any type of work, be able to kind of help with that decision-making process.
Yeah, definitely. I think I appreciated when you were talking to me about the pause and the what a pleasure. I was like talking to some of my clients about it, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, that's really good." I'm like, I know. Can you tell us what I'm talking about?
Okay, yes. So we've already just established what reactivity is, and we've established what proactivity is. And so the real magic happens during the space between those two things. Even to this moment, I can, something really, it's not traumatic or anything, but I found out that my parents drove by my house. They live in San Diego, and they were driving through to Northern California, and they drove by my house without stopping to say hi to us, right? And I was just, like, devastated. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they did that, right? And of course, it brings up all these old wounds and all this stuff, right? This is something in the past that would have made me spiral for, like, maybe months, definitely weeks. And I would have held on to it, and I would have become bitter about it, and I would have stewed over it, and I would have been just ruminating over this thing. When it happened, I literally kept saying, and even my husband and I were both saying it and laughing and crying at the same time, saying, pause, like, what a pleasure, pause, what a pleasure, pause, what a pleasure. And I had to keep saying it over and over again because I was really upset. The space between reactivity and proactivity is that pause where we can actually just stop both and take a moment and take a breath and evaluate what's actually going on. So first, when people first start coaching with me, I just teach them about the pause. Just pause. Just pause in that moment and just slow down, because our reactive system is already thinking of ways I'm going to get revenge, ways I'm going to crawl under a hole and never return again, or ways I'm going to disassociate and just avoid the pain, avoid the feelings. And so in the moment, I just had to pause and just feel it. Just pause and just feel it. feel the pain, feel the things coming up. And the what a pleasure piece of it helps to realign that a belief that I have that everything that's happening to me is actually for me. It's
Mhm.
not a punishment, it's for my good. It's not a way, it's not a not a punishment, but like not like something negative. It's something that's happening for me. So what
Mhm.
a pleasure means, oh, I'm so glad this is happening. And it was, and again, this is why I'm sort of like giggling about it, like while I'm crying, because I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, what a pleasure. This was meant, they were meant to do this for my benefit, for my growth. Whether or not I decide to call them out on it, whether or not I decide to let it go and not talk to them about it ever again, whatever happens next is not the point. What matters is that in this moment right now, I recognize that this is happening for me and for my good, so that
Mm.
I can learn to transform that place within myself that's looking still to my parents for approval.
Yeah.
I give myself approval. Looking, pausing and saying, this is happening to me so that I can understand and take responsibility for my own fear of rejection. Only I can do that work. It's not
Yeah.
up to my parent. It's not up to my parents to just like all of a sudden not ever reject me again in my life. They're going to keep doing it. It's
Mhm.
just a fact.
Yep. Yep.
And so what a pleasure means, what a pleasure that this is happening to me for my good. And I know it's really hard when we think like, well, what about this and what about that? I don't know about all of the intricacies of the universe, but I know that when things happen, it is our opportunity to practice proactivity. So that if something were to happen to me and I'm reactive and I practice pause, stop here. Okay, what a pleasure. I have this opportunity to move from reactive to proactive. That's when we transform. Everybody talks about like the moment of transformation, or this is going to transform your life or your business. And we don't realize like it's the moment that we pause and we do something differently than we did before.
Mhm.
We
Definitely.
don't react the same way that we react. We don't go down the same like habit trail. We don't we just choose, we're able to choose differently. We're like, hey, I would have done this in the past. Now I'm gonna try this and try something different. That's the moment that we transform. And it's my belief that, I know some people, we can have this like, wow, this really major thing happened to us and it really did transform my life. I personally believe most people's experiences are little decisions every single day.
Yeah.
And then you wake up a year from now and you're like, holy shit, I'm completely different.
Yeah, definitely.
My life is different, right?
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of times we're waiting for that big, a big, you know, thing to come save us. And it's like that little decision, that pause, what a pleasure. We're able to move from reactive to proactive. That right there, that's the transformation. That's the
Mhm.
transformation. And we're not going to do it perfectly and we're not going to do it every day.
Yeah.
But if we can get into the habit of it and the habit of understanding it and the habit of seeing it and the habit of recognizing when it comes, um, then we start to see, some miracles start to happen or things change or our attitudes changing or things that would have made me spiral, like I said,
Mhm.
would have made me spiral for weeks. It was like 45 minutes,
Yeah. Well, that's an improvement.
right? Big
Yeah,
improvement. And maybe one
definitely.
day it'll be 10 minutes and maybe one day it'll be like, not even a thing. But you're not going to stop the world from triggering you. You're not going
Mhm.
to stop the world from um testing you and creating these like horrible opportunities, and the world's going to keep coming at you.
Mhm.
So we either learn how to transform it or we just keep running from it all forever,
Yeah, for real.
and we never, and then we're just constantly running, and that's exhausting.
It really is
Exhausting.
exhausting. Emotionally
Yeah,
exhausting and physically exhausting.
everything. Yeah,
Yeah. I realized
100%.
that too with my reactions to my parents because they trigger me all the time. And I'm recently where I was like, you know what? The only thing I can change right now is my reaction and my response to them. I can't change them. I can only change
Mm-hmm.
how I react. I can't necessarily change how I feel about something, but I can change how
Yeah.
I react. And so that's been really helpful, in my personal relationships too. But
And you can also you get to decide how much it bothers you.
mhm,
You get to decide how much does this person have control over me,
yeah.
right? Like I think a lot of times like when I think about this instance with my own parents, I'm like, gosh, I really thought that I would I didn't think it would bother, I didn't think they were going to bother me this much anymore. And
Yeah.
then again, here's another instance, and that's again, what a pleasure. Another layer to peel off. But we
Yeah.
get to decide, and in that moment of the pause, we get to decide, am I going to let this bother me? Am I going to let this hurt me? Am I going to
Mhm.
let the how and to what degree and to what effect and to what end?
Mhm.
We get to determine how we react to things and how we let things affect us.
Yeah. I think it helps us I forgot what I was going to say. But I've been thinking about that too with my interpersonal relationships, I've had to bring up some confrontational, I guess, which is not a fun word, but like hard conversations with some people in my life. And before I just reacted, I sat with myself a little bit, like it was like a day or two, maybe or so. And I sat with myself and I was like, okay, how do I feel about this? And am I going to let this bother me? And am I going to let this continue? Should I address it?
Mhm.
Like I had to decide within myself what I was going to do as well. And in the past, it's been hard for me. I get anxious. I cry. I hate having those conversations. It builds up to where I don't even know how I feel about it until
Mhm.
I yell or freak out or cry or whatever. And so it's been able to help me process how I'm feeling so that I actually have a conversation. And, sometimes those conversations go well and sometimes they don't. But I know for me, I'm changing how I'm responding to these situations and it's been helping me grow. So it's been helpful in my
Mhm.
interpersonal relationships for sure. And I think it's also kind of helping me with my business right now as well, obviously. So,
Yeah.
but
It can't do anything but help,
yeah.
because again, our brains and the way that we work doesn't change or, when we get to work and when we don't. So if you are having if what's coming up for you are the hard conversations with friends, then great. Or, your interpersonal relationships, then great. This is the lesson at hand.
Yeah.
And it's going to help your business down the line because there's going to be, team members that you also have to have uncomfortable conversations with, or clients or vendors or investors or landlords, and like just all of the things. And if we can, recognize the task at hand and say, okay, I'm going to confront it, I'm going to accept it, I'm going to do my best in this moment to, figure it out and work on it, then when the next task arises, you're like, okay, I know what to do.
Yeah.
I've got, I've got experience now.
Yeah.
And as
Each
someone
little
who
choice helps
myself,
you out.
I'm a hardcore flight. So in coaching, we talk about, that fight, flight, or fright system. All three of them are working within us at all times, but we tend to value one more than another, or we tend to use one more than another, or at a time when we really needed an out, one came in and saved the day, and so we're like, that's our go-to. So for me, it's a flight. I like to avoid, I like to pretend things don't exist. I
Hmm.
like to work on something else when I know I should be working on this, right? And so having hard conversations was definitely something that I'm still working on.
Hmm.
I feel like I've grown a lot um in a lot of areas, but I still find it. I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to talk to that person. And I'm like, my stomach drops and I'm like, oh, I want to throw up,
Yeah.
and but I know now, just have the conversation, just talk to the person, just call them, get it over
Yeah.
with because you'll feel better.
Yep. Seriously. Um,
Yeah.
I was gonna like just chat about my business in the last like, I don't know, year or so. I called you I signed up for coaching, I guess you could say. And I was like, it's time to go in this direction. And now that I've been working on it and trying to make it happen, it's not happening for me. And I had to be like, okay, is this a me problem? Is this a I'm doing it for the wrong reasons problem? Is this a location problem? And so I've had to like figure out if I'm failing or if it's just like not working out and, you know, is it time to pivot and all these things, right? So it's been an interesting, I don't know, time, and I'm still, figuring out what I want to do, but realizing that, maybe this salon season for me with 3 years was what I needed to kind of recover from some toxic salon stuff in the past and know where I want to go in the future. And then I asked you, I was like, what do I do? And you're like, well, is this in your 5-year plan? And I was like, no, it never really has been, honestly, the location where I'm at. And I'm like, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
I've been focusing a lot on like money and trying to be disciplined and all these things. And I'm like, is it responsible of me to have this salon at this moment where I'm spending extra money or energy on people who don't want to do the same things that I do or aren't, in that same place? And I'm like, you know what? I think it's time for me to pause for myself and, pivot. And I had to talk to myself through like, I'm not failing. You're not failing. You're pivoting and you can change your life anytime you want. And it's okay. So, I haven't told my landlord yet, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to not renew my lease in my space. And I'm just trying to find another space. And I haven't worked with lots of other
Awesome.
people in a while. And it's scary. And I'm like, do I want a salon suite? Do I want a regular salon? So it's a lot of, things in my mind, but it's been really difficult just because I'm like, this is my baby. And then I'm like, well, it's okay. I can, if I still want to do this in the future, I can do it again, in a different
Yeah.
way. Just, I think all the things we talked about really helped me kind of process this and not freak out or just respond to it's inflation and everything's expensive and blah, 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 and that's kind of scary too in the industry right now. It's a
Yeah.
lot of stuff going on. People are
Yeah.
freaking out, losing their businesses. They can't survive. Clients are canceling. People don't want to pay, like all these things.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of stress. And so I'm like, all right, what am I going to do next? I still want to be a
Yeah. I
hairstylist,
mean,
but
yeah, I mean, all of those things to me, those are factors, but
hmm
ultimately, kind of coming back to like, we're looking for that one thing to come in and save us. That one
hmm
thing is us.
hmm
Like, the government isn't going to save you. The economy is not going to save you. Even if it turns on a dime, goes one way, goes another, you are the only one who's in control of you and your destiny and your life and your business, etc. And I think that, yeah, we have to look at some of the rules that we're playing in, right? Capitalism and stuff.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like those are just outside factors. It's really up to you. And I think that, our society and in business, we're supposed to have all the answers all the time. And if you try something, it's either a success or it's a failure. And again, is this happening to me or is it happening for me? The journey that you went on with this space and this location, can we look at it as not like, what other ways can we look at it other than a failure, right?
Mhm.
Because I don't think it's a failure at all.
Yeah.
Did you learn about yourself? Did you grow as a person, as a hairdresser, as a business person? Like, those are things that are actually a success. And to change and to pivot and to change your mind or to evolve into something different is not a failure, it's growth.
Mhm. Yeah. I agree.
And so don't be scared of pursuing the new thing that goes, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And I think that there is a factor of like, um you know there's an element where we have to put in 100% of effort into whatever endeavor we're going against or what we're trying for. But there's also, to me, I'm like, it also has to come with like complete surrender of the outcome.
Yeah.
So I might want something really bad and I'm putting all the effort into it. But if I'm only fixated on this one outcome that I want, then the universe can't direct me. and it can't surprise me, and there can't be any miracles. And what if what could have happened would have been so much better, but
Yeah.
yet I'm still fixated on it, like it has to be this, then will always be disappointed. So to me, I'm like, just put in maximum effort wherever you are today, whatever situation you have today, put in maximum effort and then just let go of what the result could be. Because we don't know what the result could be. Anything can happen at any time. But what we can control is our effort. So yeah.
Yeah. That's where I'm at right now because I haven't officially told my landlord, and I'm like, oh, am I going to do it? Am I going to do it? And I keep telling myself I am going to do it. And it's the jumping off the cliff or the, taking a new path,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the fear of the unknown. And I like what you just said about we have to surrender the outcome. I don't know what I'm going to do, but
Yeah.
in the past I've been like, well, I want it to happen naturally. Like these things are better in life if you can find a roommate that just is like a friend, or you can find a salon suite and you guys do it together, or somebody message you
Mm-hmm.
and like, I want you to work for me. Right now I'm in the process of looking around and like figuring out where I
You
want
have
to
to
go.
be the one to decide.
Yes, and I'm like, oh, I don't like this at all. But I'm like, this is hard. This is where I grow. And I think after this, I'm going to text my landlord, even if I haven't found a place to go, and just be like, hey, because I have to give him 2 months, and it's a little
Okay.
before 2 months. And I'm like, I think it's time to just say it so that I'm preparing for it. I mean, it's a big thing. I have to either sell all my salon stuff, take it apart, or try
Mm-hmm.
to sell it as a whole. And I don't know
Yeah.
what's going to happen, but it's the scary part, but I know that it's what I need to do right now for my own personal self and my emotional, health and my business health,
Yeah.
honestly, because I think it's like I have to decide, do I want to be a salon owner and manage other people, or do I want to be a mentor, or do I want to be a teacher? Because I always have envisioned like having a salon, and I had this
Mm-hmm.
idea for one that I think would be great, but I'm like, well, I think I need to be more prepared and
Mm.
again, proactive about that if I am going to do it, instead of just taking the first thing that comes along, you know what I mean? So
Yeah. Yeah. I would
scary.
just, again, like, what we've talked about before, get just super clear of what you want and then just go for it.
Yeah.
Like, don't wait for somebody else to make the decision for you. Don't wait for somebody else to give you the green flag. You make your own green flags.
Mm-hmm.
You also can see your own red flags. If you're like,
Yep.
that's not working, okay, I'm going to pivot over here.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to just like, yeah, like go for, if you know what you want, then go for it and make it happen. And again,
Yeah.
you release the outcome. It could be this location, it could be that location, it could be this thing, whatever. But you're like, but I know what I want to do.
Yeah.
I know where I want to go. I know what direction I want to wake up one day in, you know?
Mm-hmm. It's the scariest to not know the outcome for most people in every situation, I think. So just to
But
be prepared, really.
any situation, it's not even like, oh, do I not know that? Nobody knows the outcome. It's the
Mm-hmm.
secret to life that actually there is no such thing as certainty.
Mm-hmm.
There isn't. I live
Yeah.
in a house. I live in a house that is like 1 mile away from where the Northridge earthquake hit in 94, right? This house could fall into a big crevice one day.
Oh God.
How secure is my own house, right?
Mhm.
Like how secure is anything? Like there's no such thing as certainty. And yet we're always trying to, okay, I only want to take this step if I know it's secure, if I
Mhm.
know it's going to work out, if I know it's going to be perfect.
Yeah.
Nobody knows. Nobody
Nobody.
knows.
Yep. I agree. And that's been the hardest thing, but it's
But
what I need to learn
it's the
this
most
season.
freeing thing, right? If we
Yeah.
can finally free ourselves from this, like, okay, but it has to be certain, it has to be perfect, it has to work out, it has to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm if I realize like none of those things are real, then I can move about freely
Yeah.
and try things and change directions and pursue things that I thought were stupid or that I didn't, I don't know. And it's just like
Yeah.
it's so freeing.
Yeah. Once you are clear on what you want and where you want to go, like, or just what you want, I think that helps with your choices because life is about the journey, not the destination. There's like a million paths you can take to get to the same spot or a different spot. If you're like, oh, I want to go over here, but now just kidding,
Yeah.
I want to go here. And it's my life. You know what I mean? Like nobody's telling me I have to
Yeah.
do it a certain way. And my life has already looked very different than everybody else's. So it's okay.
Exactly. Exactly. And to me, the only, again, back to the beginning, the only question is, am I doing this reactively or proactively?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I think this has been a good conversation for just people in general to hear. I think I like we were talking about therapy and then like coaching, because I think we all focus
Hmm.
on therapy. A lot of people go to therapy, but they don't really sometimes know how to change their behaviors
Like
in the
implement
future.
it, you
Yeah,
know?
because we can talk to our therapist about our problems for like 6 years about the same stuff and same triggers, but the real magic is in the work, what we're doing differently to be different.
Yeah.
And this has
Yep.
been what I needed, to help
Yep.
me. Even just like I said, even in my personal life, it's been helpful. And I only did it for, I
Hmm.
don't know, a few months, but I definitely probably will come back to coaching once I have more monies again and things are
Yeah.
settled. But I just want to say I'm really grateful for your help and all your advice and all of your beautiful knowledge and wisdom. I appreciate it.
I'm always around.
You
I'm
are.
always around.
Yeah. Um, can you tell people where to find you in the world on the
Yeah.
Instagrams or wherever?
Yeah. The best way is on Instagram, or any of the socials, just at Joy LaMay,
Mm-hmm.
LAMAY.
Okay.
If you want to work with me, you can DM me. And we can start chatting about what that would look like and if you're ready, and we can go from there.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
And shout out to your salon in LA. It's called the wait, no, the
The
Ministry.
ministry.
The Ministry, sorry.
Yep.
And yeah, so thanks, Joy, for coming on and sharing some great stuff with us. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. It was always so fun to catch up.
Yeah, and I actually get to see your face when we're talking.
Yay. I know,
Instead of
because
just
we're
on the
usually
phone.
phone calls.
I know. Yeah. Is there anything else you want to share before we end?
Just remember to pause
Mm,
as many times throughout the day, just saying pause when you're upset, when you're happy, when you're just sad, disappointed, somebody cuts you off and you want to react, just say pause. Just pause.
yeah.
Yeah.
Words of
My biggest
advice.
my
Great
biggest
word.
tip of life. Just
Biggest tip
pause.
of life. Yep. It sits with me in my back of my head too, and it's been very helpful. So, well,
Awesome.
thank you so much. And I will
Thank
talk to
you.
you later.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Dancing in the wind and rain. Eyes are fire, flame. We don't even know our name.